What's up guys, we're back with another X2Y2 update, and also we're talking about Elixir. Elixir was a play that I was pretty happy with, I was confident about, I thought was going to make us a lot of money. It did make me quite a lot of money at the start, luckily because I got out, but it turned out to be a massive scam. And I'm talking about it now, a couple of days after this was announced already, because well, first of all, I didn't have the time, which is also why we didn't do a X2Y2 update yesterday, but we will do today. So I'm curious to see what actually happened because I didn't even look at it yet. I looked at it yesterday very briefly, very quickly to see what the results were, but I didn't even write a time down. I think this was right around 2 p.m., but I'm not 100% sure. Let's just take this out. We'll just do a 2 day breakdown of like what happened after 2 days. I see this number drop down a little bit. Let's get into this in a second. We'll talk about Elixir first, because what I wanted to wait for is to see whether they were actually refunding money, yes or no, right? So what happened, backstory is this. Elexir Finance was a project that was going to set up a system where you were able to buy in. So you were able to buy in for $1,000 per wallet, right? You were able to buy in the Elixir token for $6 each. So you got 166.667 if you bought in for the 1,000, which I did. And then with Elixir, you can go to the shop, you buy cauldrons, and these generate Elixir tokens, like a passive income, right? And you can level it up. You level it up by having cookbooks. So every cookbook you use can level, eventually higher levels you need more cookbooks, but you level your cauldron up, gain more Elixir back for it. Eventually, when you want to claim out of your Elixir, out of your cauldron, how much you've claimed, you use a claim stone, and then by using that claim stone, you can take out the earned Elixir tokens out of your cauldron. Good system. They were gonna come up with wizard NFTs. They were gonna come up with a staking system, with this, with that, with like a bunch of million things. But since we now know that they scam people, like they took them, I guess they did scam people. They can't not do it. It's a very weird thing to think about because they thought things through so much. There would have been a massive development team behind this, a massive like the artists behind this, like the actual team itself to set this up, the marketing, everything that was done properly. It's a very weird way to do so much work and effort to then eventually pull the plug on it. Which is, if you go to the chat and you go through it, there's a bit of a debate. Did they actually scam people? Did they not scam people? Why would you go through so much effort to then eventually, pull the plug on it, which is weird. But yeah, they raised quite a lot of money and they probably didn't refund everything. So the story is this. They made a couple of mistakes with their tokenomics, and they made big mistakes with their tokenomics. Maybe they did it on purpose so that they could pull the plug on it. I don't know, right? Everything that we know about this is that it's still a little bit unfamiliar, but you got to make sure that you do watch out. It's just funny that this has happened, right? There was a lot of stuff wrong with the token price. So the token price dropped or jumped all the way up to 76, I think it was at the peak, $76, which means you would have had a 12.5x on your initial investment. And you were able to sell these cauldrons on secondary market where you bought them in, right? So before the token launched, you were still sitting at $6 per Elixir. So you bought these, they started at 30, after that it was 32, 34, 36, 38, I think maybe wasn't there, and then 40. So I got mine at 32 Elixir times $6, which was the buy-in price, right? You were sitting at around $180 to $200 that you paid per cauldron. They were selling at secondary market for $1,200 to $2,000, and then you could level them up. I leveled one up using these cookbooks, and you were able to sell those for, I think it was 45 AVEX, which would be a lot of money. We would come down to close to $4,000 per thing if you would have leveled it up, right? So $2,000 to $4,000 roughly in between that you were able to sell these. You were able to either sell your tokens, you had 7-day vesting, so you were able to sell your tokens for right around the 4x, 5x, or you would have been able to sell the cauldrons for like a 6 or 7x, right? Meaning with your $1,000 investment, you were able to take out $7,000 at the start, or if you would have kept your tokens around $2,000 to $3,000, right? So if you were quick, awesome, then you definitely made a good play here. If you weren't that quick, this is what happened. The token price went down and down and down. Eventually it was slowly going towards IDO price, towards $6. The cauldron price was nothing anymore. This wasn't generating enough Elixir. That, like, there were so many flaws in there, so they came up with this, right? Hello Wizards. The last days have been rocky. So they talked about more details about incubators, Elixir Factor. There was staking involved. There were a lot of things. So they were talking about the mistakes that they were making, and then the actions they were gonna put in place, right? Set in place. They even came up with a 35% royalty fee, which is definitely a lot of money that they did put in their money in their pocket, and they definitely did not give this back. This is for me a massive indicator that it is a planned in scam, right? Because what they did, you have NFT Trader or NF Trader, because it's on the AVAX, and you have Sumo NFT, Sumo Trade. Right, on Sumo Trader was just 1%, but NF Trader is the biggest one, and they did 35% royalties. People were still trading because they wanted to get rid of it quickly, and all those royalties obviously go into the pockets of the owners, right? Then they came up with this. We took a step back to better understand the situation, define a plan of action. Main context, so this is what happened. Why? Because early investors, pre-launch media, offloading their bags, which you would have expected. Investors are buying cauldrons with AVAX and not with Elixir, which you could have expected. They needed to make their own marketplace. Low utility for Elixir, which they already knew, right? A couple of other things. So why are investors buying cauldrons with AVAX? Well, that makes sense. That's like simple. So plan of action to fix this. They paused the release of new cauldrons, so there was a little bit more scarcity there. They did a couple of other things as well, right? New update, and then the Elixir fees or the cauldron fees 35%. Scam alert. They announced other people for pretending to be moderators in their Discord. And then after that, taking some time to reflect. This is on the 28th, 4 days ago. Taking some time to reflect since the last announcements. We deep dived in the technical design of our proposed solution, assess the current market condition, context, and then this happened. Actions, all things considered, continue the project as expected would just mean rugging slowly. We made mistakes, but we won't take investors further down. The team decided to end it early to protect its investors. Please note that almost all early investors are now either in positive profit or break even, which is true. A lot of people early did make a lot of money, but the people that jumped in later on, they definitely, they're being screwed over quite a lot. So, well, la-di-la-di-la. So what they're gonna do is they're just gonna refund people their money, and they're gonna stop. Out of nowhere, this came out of nowhere, right? And then of course the chat went, people were like taking off in the chat and were like, what the hell is going on? And then they said, seeing all the reactions after our announcement, we understand the disappointment. We'd like everyone to get the message straight. We don't broadcast false information. So treasury funds are safe and will stay on the wallet. So that did actually open up about everything, right? The treasury, the money, LP token have been pulled to avoid new people entering. Keep active until situation is managed. The team is only paid with the private sale funds, won't touch any treasury funds. Given the panic, we would prefer a vote, re-adding liquidity or not. Well, then they did some votes, and then they talked about airdropping people money, and then that just continued. Who is gonna get airdropped? People that also still have the token, or only the people that bought the cauldrons with it? Well, a couple of times they go back and forth. So I sold everything, luckily, beforehand with a good profit. I think I took $4,000 out, but I still had a cookbook left, which usually costs 2 Elixir. IDO price, I paid $12 for it, right? And then Claimstone is 10, which I then paid $60 for, and then I still had Elixir left as well, 4.6. So if you break it down all together, this is 12 Elixir, 16.7 Elixir times 6, that is 96 something dollars, so close to $100 that I still had left over, right? I got refunded 77. So to be honest, I got refunded most of the money. They made an announcement that they were taking 50 AVAX out for the gas fee that they had to pay for refunding 3,000 addresses. I think that's here. Somewhere there's an announcement that they've refunded everybody, or they will refund everybody, but they're going to take out 50k or 50 AVAX or 50k in AVAX to make up for all the gas fee that they had to pay for, right? Well, okay, so it doesn't matter. They took out 50 AVAX out of the whole treasury, and they used that for the refund. So I got back $77 out of roughly the 100 I had left over, which is pretty nice, right? But that's because I already made my money, already made my profit, and then they gave me money back as well. People that bought my cauldrons, they paid money for the cauldrons, and they're stuck with stuff that they don't get a refund. They're stuck with nothing. And all the royalties paid for, well, they actually go into the pockets of the owners, right? Some people that I know that did have a cauldron left and they got money refunded, they didn't get all of the money refunded, so it's a little bit of a smaller amount. Now, I don't have all the details of all the wallets, and I haven't checked everything where the money went, and I'm not gonna bother going through everything to see whether they refunded exactly the right amount, yes or no. But if you go through the chat, some people talk about, it's not all refunded. They had more than $1.5 million left over, or more than $1 million left over that they should have refunded as well, which they didn't. Plus, they have all the royalties. So the weird thing is, why would you go through so much trouble and then announce that you're gonna stop it and pull it because you didn't do the right job with your tokenomics, and then just kill the whole project, plug the whole project? You wouldn't. So some people are not sure because they say, well, you wouldn't put so much effort to then rug it, they just made a mistake. And some people say, no, it's definitely a rug. Well, it is definitely a scam, because you're not going to stop a project even when your tokenomics are flawed and fake or like wrong. You're not going to stop a project just because there's mistakes, that you're going to fix it. You've just raised a couple of $1 million that you can use to then fix a bunch of things. Most projects that come up and they're new, they definitely would have had mistakes along the way, but they just fix it, right? And they trying to fix the issues and they work with it along the way. That's the way to go. If you made mistakes, then fine, you made mistakes. That's no problem, right? But they just announced it in a way that they've done a good thing by refunding the money, which is weird, in my opinion. But yeah, I just wanted to touch base on that because I think, yes, it is a scam. It's very difficult to know beforehand that something like this is happening, because I was very bullish on this project, to be honest. I thought it was going to be very well. But moral of the story is, never step away from, so that's enough about this, never step away from your strategy. Why? Because my strategy always is, that's for NFTs, with everything, take profit straight away at the start, always, right? If you can stay in there for free, risk-free, free money, then do it, right? So I sold everything. I sold the I bought 3. I sold 2, I already was in profit, and then I kept 1 to see what was going to happen, right? Then I saw things going down and down and down more and more, and I didn't think that was going to be as profitable as I thought anymore at the start, so I sold the other one too. The first 2 I sold, like I had $1,000 put in. The first 2 I sold for a lot of money. Third one was like $600 or something like that, maybe not even, around $600, even though it was leveled up to a high level. But at least it was, extra profit, because I was in profit already. Would have sold it straight away on day 1, I would have doubled the profit that I had on it, right? What you should be doing, in my opinion, this is what I always do: take profit, and then we'll get into X2Y2. Take your profit straight away at the start, because you don't know whether it's going to be good or not. Same goes for NFT flipping. Take the money that you can take, profit, take it as much as possible, and then if something turns out to be good, if something turns out to be a good project later down the track, just pay more money for it, right? If this would have turned out to be a good project and it would have turned out that the cauldrons were actually making you money, awesome. Well, then just pay more money for a cauldron and stay in there and generate a passive income, right? If a Azuki turns out to be a good one, well, then just quick flip it at the start, and then later down the track, be like, hey, hold up, this floor price is just going more and more up. I'm just going to buy in again, because that's one of the only NFT projects that turns out to continue to rise after the floor price, after the mint, right? That was on a steady line up and it never stopped. 99% of the projects, they have a massive hype at the start, and then floor price is very high. You can make up a lot of money there, and then it drops again. So usually best case is just sell and then buy in later on again. NFT trading 101 with Michael Pump here. Then we go into X2Y2. There's not a whole lot to talk about, so that's why I wanted to add the Elixir in here too. Yes, they have been developing. There's more and more things coming. You can now use WEF and Ethereum together for your bulk buy, rather than usually it's only one or the other. This is I totally feel how frustrating this could be, and I see no reason why PA can't get verified. It's verified now, and please set up your creator fee. Speculate, I don't know, Genesis. Okay, cool. So again, he's very interactive, still is very interactive with all the community and the people around, right? But aside from that, there's not a whole lot of new things happening. So they are working and building their project, their team, they are developing. I still think that it has a lot of potential, but it is going to be a lot longer term. Same thing, we went over Luxrare. I don't see any upside potential in Luxrare in a short or midterm. I don't think you can make money. Same thing goes for X2Y2. I wouldn't jump into this right now, right? I wouldn't put my money into, if I wouldn't have got my money in there right now already, I wouldn't jump in right now. So I wouldn't put extra money in. So I'm not also not looking at lowering my dollar cost average right now, which if I would have done that here, it would have been a good move, but who knew? Nobody knew that. Nobody knew that at the start. And I do see it still going down more and more and more. And I know that right now the market is making a lot of easy money for me. So why would I, right? If things turn around and the burning system comes in place, that's when we will put more money, if that happens. But this is scary though, because this is going toward that 1000% very quickly now. And I think after that, it's going to drop a lot, because then we're not accumulating tokens anymore either. And at that point, we're just going to have to take our loss. So we're sitting currently at 12,087 or 88, right? Let's make it 12,088. So 12,088 tokens is what we're at right now. So that means we're sitting at $1,000 of tokens, but this is over 2 days, right? Right now it is the 3rd of the 3rd. Let's say 5 p.m. again, same thing. And that means that we have earned a total of 6,000 tokens. We have earned 6,000 tokens in total right now, which means that we have doubled the tokens. We've been in it since the 18th and we're now at the 3rd. So that is 13 days that we're in it, close to 2 weeks. And that means we've now doubled the tokens, right? But because this one has been dropping so much, we still lost, money. What have we earned so far in tokens? 38, we'll always go with this one, right? 38.19 or 38.19 times the tokens that we've earned. We've earned ourselves $2,283 total. So this was still kind of the best bet, right? Because we had less tokens 2 days ago, but still $2,100. Yes, this is now more. So yes, we're earning more, which is good, because we want to earn money out of the staking that we do. Obviously, we don't just want to accumulate tokens, we want to earn money, right? This is not the important factor, the amount of tokens that we've earned. This is the important factor, how much money have we earned? Because even though we got more tokens, we're still having less profit or more loss. Well, then it just doesn't make sense, does it? So right now we're sitting at a total of, because this number is not really changing either right now. What was it? 38.19, right? Total of $4,600. So this would be a $3,400 loss if we would be taking it out right now. I won't yet, but I do think again that when this drops closer towards the $1,000, and to be honest, I think, and that's kind of because we're doing the videos, I'm gonna be too late. I think the drop will happen before 1,100, 1,200%, because then people will all have the same thought. Oh shit, it's getting close towards the 1,000%. There'll probably be more people dropping it after that. So let me take it out right now already, right? And because we're doing the videos and I kind of want to be interactive with it, and whatever we might miss that point, we might actually stick it out and be in there for up until the 1,000% or below. But I think that the price will drop before that already, which is definitely going to hurt our investment. So if you're watching this and you're in it, that's my take on it. Don't necessarily follow my moves in the video, but listen to the things I'm saying out loud. As for the NFT listings, I did check yesterday, I think it was at 0 again. Yep, but today it's starting again. So I have no idea why this was at 0 all these days, but cool. Today we're back at earning. We're earning $11 a day. These two still no, because no tradable volume. This one neither. These one all at 4, and then my mutant ape at 12. So it's all been a lot higher. Maybe there's less volume. I did drop the floor. This one is actually very close to the floor price right now. So those should be earning more compared to the days before. Probably just means less tradable volume. That is all I have for you guys. To be honest, there's not a whole lot of updates happening right now. The team is probably working their ass off to develop more things. I do think that, again, this can turn around if they come up with a couple of features that are going to attract investors, but they need to attract more money. They need to have more people putting their money in, which is going to help, of course, increase the market cap and increase the price. And they need to come up with a burning system. If they would be able to bring it out on time, but probably won't happen because they haven't mentioned anything about it. If there would be a burning system over the next couple of days, I think it's all going to turn around and you can literally double your money from now on easily. I think if that's the case, it can easily drop above the $1 again. And if that would happen, then suddenly we would be in a very good profit. I genuinely think I could double my investment, meaning going from 4,000, which it is right now, 4,000 something, to 16,000. I genuinely think that could happen if there would be a good, proper burning system in place. First of all, it's going to attract new investors because they would benefit from the APR without too much of the inflation happening. It would turn around the token price. It would easily, like it would help the token price increase. And that's just going to create a bit of a snowball effect, and people would be believing that this token price can go up. They would benefit from an increased token price and a little bit of an APR still that is going on, that is left right now. And then the whole sentiment about the whole project would massively change. I think that would definitely be possible, but unfortunately there's no announcement about any type of burning system in place whatsoever. So I don't think that they would just drop that out of nowhere. I think they would build up to that, build a little bit of hype around it, get some people to jump in already because of that, burning event happening, but nothing that is announced. So I don't think any of that will happen in the time that we're going to be sitting in here with our money. But another update tomorrow. Let's see what happens. If this token price turns around 20-30% up and we accumulate a little bit more tokens over time and we get close to the 8,000 again, I will take my money out and just secure that we don't lose too much. If that all doesn't happen, we'll probably just ride it out and just see what happens all the way down to when this number goes below 1,000 and towards the zero. But let's see what happens. That's definitely not financial advice and definitely not what I would be doing myself if it wasn't for the video. So let's see what happens though. Overall, you never know if things turn around with another bump up a little bit like this, one more bump up like this towards the 70 or 80 cents, and we're in a total different situation and we would totally be in a profitable state. So it would be fun to see if anything like that would ever even be possible. That's all I have for you guys for today. Thanks for watching. If you could just hit the subscribe button, bell notification, I would appreciate it as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video.